Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening Birmingham. Today, I have the honor and pleasure. I got three people on the show today. I got Sharon, Carla, and Pastor Mike McClure Sr. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming on the podcast. How y'all
Good
doing?
morning. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
It's really great to see you again.
Glad to be here.
Great to see everybody. So, I decided to come on today. We're talking about the Revote Black Church Community Voter Project. And I really love the work that you all are doing with this. And I guess before we start off, just a little introduction, all three of you all.
Absolutely. I'll go first. My name is Cara McClure. I'm the founder and visionary of Faith and Works. It's a social justice and civic engagement organization. And I'm also the visionary behind Revote, the Black Church Community Voter Project. And I'll pass it over to my sister, Sharon McClure.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm Deputy Director of Faith and Works. I came aboard on January, and I'm so excited about the work that we're going to do, and I'll pass it on to my brother, Michael.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am the Mike McClure Sr. I'm the senior pastor of Revelation Church Ministries and the sitting prelate of Covenant Pastors International, Covenant Partners International. I'm the big brother to Sharon and Carr, and I'm a very fond member and enthusiast of Faith and Works. I'm one of the people around the city who's very proud of the work it's doing, and decided that I could not allow this work to keep going on and not be a part of it. Not simply because it's a project of Carr McClure, but because it's a project that's very vital and very important to our people, our community. If our voices are going to continue to be heard and have any value, it's going to be because we re-energize, re-engage, and get back involved and seeing to it that our vote counts.
You forgot that other R. That's why you kept going.
I really did.
So, Carl, like, I know you kind of pretty much answered my first question. Is like, so what was your vision when you first put this together, this organization together?
Well, the first vision, the first thought I had was, I thought about when we were young and how we used to walk to church. Everyone lived in the same community where their church is located, and we just walked down the street to go to church. And I just thought about it. I started with the pastors in my own family and thought, you know what? Nobody lives in that community where their church is located, and nothing is wrong with that. But it made me think about what could be missing as a result.
Right.
You know, and the Bible talks about being repairers of the breach. And in my opinion, the two most powerful entities in our community is the church/faith leaders and the activists/community organizers. To me, these two entities can move mountains together. So I wanted to bridge the gap between the two of us, so together we can make a change in our community. And then I had to think, what is the one thing that we can agree on right now where we can start working together and then work on other things later? And that was civic engagement, turning out the vote, getting people involved in the civic and political process is something that we all agree on, that we care about. So I wanted to start there. And then I had to come up with the name. And my nephew, Darius McClure, called out Revote.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, like Revote.
And I was like, you know what? I like that because we want to create an informed voter who will turn out in every election, because we've been having very low election turnout. And so we need to connect with people, reconnect and re-engage with folks in the community, find out what they care about, and then do the work to reach infrequent voters. And so that's what we're aiming to do. And that's where the whole program came from.
Carl, I love what you were saying, because that reminds me instantly, it gave life back to that third R, which is re-energize. Once upon a time, the church was the nucleus. It was the center of all civic engagement.
The hub.
I believe it's time for us to bring it back to the center, bring it back to the core. Somewhere along the line, it started to venture off. And now we get to the point where the church is not even relevant. And it's time to bring it back, put the power back where it belongs. I speak to thousands every time I turn on my microphone. Several pastors around the city speak to multi-millions of people every time they turn on their their microphone. It's time for us to use this podium, use this platform to re-energize, re-engage our people, get the voice heard again, get the vote out again.
Yeah, and that's what we're aiming to do. And I just want to help my brother out with that third R. Seems like he's struggling a little bit, is reconnect. Reconnect, re-engage, and revitalize the church and the community.
One man's reconnected, another brother's re-energized.
Okay.
And I think you pretty much answered, the next question I was going to ask is like, why is it important for churches to get involved in this?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking that question. Like I said before, the church was the hub where everything happened, not just during the civil rights movement, but also during enslavement. During enslavement, Black folks weren't just sitting around passively. There were 126 slave revolts, and 121 of them was as a result of the church organizing at the church. And so, I realized from reading that the church was more than just there for our spiritual empowerment and enlightenment, but they were also there educating folks. They were the nucleus, they were the hub. And so we want to bring the hub back in every community, everywhere. There's a church on every corner. Let's just imagine this for a moment. A month before election, or 6 months before election, on every corner, you see a sign on every church that says, get your voter registration form here. Yeah. Stop here to register to vote. Oh, we're having a community conversation about housing, about food insecurity on every corner. Because right now, if someone wants to register to vote, they have to say, where do I get a voter registration form from? They have to go all the way downtown, or they have to, try to figure it out online. They may not have internet. But if there was a voter education, a voter participation hub everywhere, they could say, oh, that church on the corner, that one right there on the corner, you can get a form from.
And Cara and Sharon, I love the fact that, and hear this real quick, I really mean this when I say this. See, battles aren't won on the field until they're won in the mind. 40 minutes to an hour a week, pastors have the mind of the masses. So this is a great time to infuse into the mindset of the people the importance of re-engaging, reconnecting, and revitalizing the vote.
And I want to, and I'm glad Pastor McClure brought that up, because we want to make sure that folks listening now, pastors who are listening now, they may have a 501c3. We're not telling folks who to vote for. We're simply just, we're running a fellowship, a 6-week fellowship.
Yeah,
where a pastor can choose one person, or the person listening may be that person. You always wanted to make a difference, but we just need one person from every church, from 300 churches across the state. One person who says, I help lead that civic engagement ministry in my church. Then they will create a group of 3 to 5 people to assemble their team. And this will not affect the church's 501c3, because again, we're not telling folks who to vote for. We're just training, giving folks the tools that they need to do outreach in the community where their church is located. And we're also offering a $1,000 stipend for every person that participates.
That's really good. Let's just say somebody watching here and they say, Alabama, I'm not trying to throw out, it's always been the same result, year after year after year. Does my vote count? And I'm just speaking out loud, without saying one way or another. But
Can I talk a little bit, Carl?
Yeah.
I think the first, if that was said to me, I would start my answer in retrospect.
Okay.
Because sometimes we have to take a intro, prospective view. Retro, intro, pro. Retro means we need to look back. It was this city, Birmingham, the city that was once known as Birmingham, now is known as Birmingham. And yes, sir. Now, and I believe that Cara and this vision that she has is somewhat a new modern day Harriet Tubman. Okay. Where instead of leading people to freedom, she's leading them back to the polls. Okay. Now, why do I call it retro? Because remember, it was the church that got people to vote in the beginning. It started in the church. It was in Birmingham. The church people put a Richard Arrington in office as the first Black mayor. It was the church that would come together, the Shuttleworths of the Woods, the Abraham Woods, the Calvin Woods. They did all these movements, the SCLC, okay, the NAACP. All these civic organizations started in the basements of churches. And I see it now. It's time to bring it back. Retro, start there. Intro. People say that young people don't go to church. I beg to differ. I believe young people go where there's something happening. I believe young people go where their mental capacities are being enlightened. I believe young people go where they find a horse that they can ride. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe we engage the young people. We can find them in the right churches. Come to Revelation Church. Come to the Rock Church. There are several churches all over the city, young people there every Sunday. And then prospective. Okay. What I love about pro, we say God will provide. God will provide. The word pro means to see in advance. Okay. The word pro means before the start, before the beginning.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I believe we got to start now. Carl's being proactive. Let's do it now. Let's take a retro, intro, prospective view of what's happening in our city. Because Birmingham is booming. Irondale is booming. Surrounding cities are booming. Let's not allow our voice not to be a part of that boom.
That's good, Mike.
That's good.
And I would agree that you got to get them engaged early. Like, you can't wait. And what I've seen in the past is, and not throwing out names of different churches and things, like they'll do the voter stuff around in October. Whereas if they would have done that in July and August, you got to give enough time, because if you start trying to get the voter forms in, and what I've seen past experience, sometimes that stuff don't even get in the registrar's office, or it's just or even educating them on where do they actually go and vote.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, that's why there's no election season right now in Birmingham, but we're starting now. We're working it year round. So we're seeding the ground now, getting people registered, getting people engaged and excited about voting. So when it's time to go to the polls, we could reap the harvest then. So we're seeding the grounds now.
Also, what we're doing now is training up people right now. The Bible talks about the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And see, right now you have organizations with 2 or 3 people trying to do all the work. You got an organization in Mobile, an organization in Montgomery, a small organization. That's not enough. We have to equip people on every corner. And what's on every corner? A church. So we have to start there. And then that church takes care of the 2 to 3 blocks right there where their church is located. Can you see the vision?
I see.
If everybody focus, do the outreach right there where their church is located, it won't only benefit turning out to vote, but it will also benefit the church's outreach. So everyone, this is a win-win, super win for everybody.
Well, I definitely do think, in many churches, like you said, they got different departments, but they'll never have a civic engagement department.
This is brand new. It's
brand
new within the church. And I think that's what's so critical. There's people sitting in church right now looking for something to do. And see, they think, well, I'm too young to be a part of the youth ministry. I'm too young to be a part of the salt and pepper ministry, and I don't quite fit with the youth. So they're right there in the middle. They can't sing. And they're looking for something to do, and they have leadership capabilities, and they work at the polls. They give folks rides to the polls, and they're saying, I want to make a difference, but I can't seem to find my place. And so right now, and that's me, I would go to my pastor, and that would be my place. Pastor, I heard about this Revolt Black Church Community Voter Project program, and it seems like a great fit for our church, where we're already a blessing to the community. We're already doing outreach. We can add this one more component, and it'll make us even more impactful in the community where our church is located.
And we can no longer continue to focus on what didn't work. I teach our people at Revelation Church that we must stop turning a failed event into a failed identity. I do not identify with my failures. I identify with my success. Okay. So what didn't work then will work now. We're the little red caboose that can.
And so what we're trying to do is invite people into this process with us. We have a website for people who want to learn more. It's www.blackchurchvoterproject.com. The deadline to apply is April 15th, but if folks need more time, we'll give them that time, because we are going to create 300 civic engagement ministries in churches across Alabama by 2026. But God is so powerful and so amazing. I think it's going to happen in the next year or two. And so I'm excited to have Pastor McClure, who saw the vision immediately. I'm so happy to have Sharon on the team, who is so excited. And the way that she's recruiting people is she's having house parties. Yes. She's inviting people. She's having house parties of 8 to 10 people, just sharing the vision with them and bringing them into Faith and Works, and also into the Revolt Project. Absolutely. And so we're super excited. Are we leaving out anything, team?
Well, I'd like to add this, and loving. This is definitely a grassroots operation. And I love that, because understand this one statement. See if y'all can catch this. Before you can have a grand opening, you must always have a groundbreaking. So we're breaking ground now. But I promise you, Faith and Works is on its way to a grand opening. I might.
I approve that message.
I approve that message. And one thing too, I know I'm actually having an interview with you all, but I'm just thinking in my head as far as brainstorming. Wow. Actually, through this organization, I don't know where this falls to you all, within the mission, educating on how Alabama state government works.
That's part of the training. The fellowship is 6 weeks, and each week they're going to learn something new, as well as do outreach. So you're right on track. You're telling our curriculum.
Just educating, like, for example, what is home rule? Home rule is so important. It's some things that the legislature, even if the local cities pass it, it has to get approval through, the legislature. So,
we're training on the very basis to start out. Then once people graduate from the fellowship, they will have the opportunity to join our empowerment network so we can stay together. But each civic engagement ministry will be able to advocate and do what their heart desires and what's best for that community where their church is located, because we don't want to dictate. Different communities have different needs.
Right.
So we're just equipping them with the tools and the knowledge, to do outreach. For instance, this is not our first rodeo. Last year we did this fellowship, and we had pastors. We provide. I don't know if y'all remember on the radio, but we had pastors doing radio commercials. Well, we paid for that. We had yard signs. We had over 2,000 yard signs spread out across Jefferson County. We did over 40,000 text messages just reminding people to get out and vote, asking people if they need a ride to the polls. We distributed food to folks. We paid folks power bills. And so mutual aid will also be a component because we have to meet people where they are.
Okay.
Got to get Car, did you make it clear about the fellowship? Were you really clear about we're looking for people to join the fellowship?
You want to, yeah, I mean, but we can make sure we can go back over it.
Over that again. Just
okay.
Make sure we're pressing that point.
All right. So this is called the Revote Black Church Community Voter Project Fellowship. We're looking for one person from every church. Our first cohort will hold 25 people. But we need one person who always wanted to lead to join the fellowship. It's for 6 weeks, only 2 to 4 hours a week. They will receive a $1,000 stipend for participating. They may want to give it to their church, but they will also receive an additional $500 to begin outreach in that community. So altogether, $1,500. Each week we'll come together. So the deadline to apply is April 15th, but if folks need a few more days, we'll make that happen. And then we will notify them on April 19th. And then on May 5th, we're doing a reception for that church and that fellow. So we'll have a big reception. We got Dr. Richard Arrington speaking at our reception on that Friday, May 5th around 6 o'clock. And then the orientation begins just for the fellow. It's a full day. Now, just because it's for the fellows, we're telling pastors, you can come to any class as time permits. We know pastors are very busy. And so we're saying when time permits and you just want to make sure we're not teaching your folks no crazy stuff, you're welcome to come into every class.
And I want to say to all the pastors out there that may view this or hear this later on, this is a great time to show your community where your church resides that you're not just about entitlement, but you are about commitment also. Why do I say that? Well, I believe commitment is being loyal to your assignment, but entitlement is being loyal to yourself. And it's time to get the picture off ourselves and really get focused on our assignment. I think it'll be great for every church.
Good.
Let me make sure we didn't miss anything. I got notes all over my wall.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just trying to think of
apartment. Did you get it on?
Website? Where's the website to go to?
Yep, it's on the screen, www.blackchurchvoterproject.com. The application takes us about 5 minutes to complete. And it's been amazing, but I want to share, we're looking at the applications coming in, and it's shocking us. My applications are coming in from North Carolina, Ohio, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee, and a few from Alabama. So blackchurchvoterproject.com is right on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Black Church Voter Project, and we definitely want to put a flyer on what's happening now.
What's happening in Birmingham?
What's hapning in Birmingham? We all gonna get it right.
Get it right.
It's early.
No. So I'm actually gonna have the text on the screen when I produce it and everything. Man, I'm telling you, I can talk all day with y'all about this. I really love what you all are doing. Kind of like having that vision. Like I always say, the best time to focus on the next election is before the election.
Right.
So, I know we got 2024 coming up. That's next year. But actually, that the ones that affects us the most is if you live in Birmingham, it's 2025.
Well, we're focused on the next statewide election.
Yeah, it's 2026.
Yeah, so, I ran for office in 2018, the statewide election. It was the most It was the best slate in the state of Alabama, according to Don Siegelman. And I was on that slate. And Faith and Works is a 501c. So we're not for Republicans. And we're definitely not for Republicans. We just not for Black people, building power. But during that, we could have a whole different landscape right now had there been a greater turnout, because folks are registered to vote. The numbers are there, so it is not too far-fetched to think that we can't do a little bit more. And I'm being careful here, but if you really look at the numbers and the number of people, I think progressives could really do well if we start now. Another problem that we've had is that when funders shower down money to the states during every election, what I found was that the folks who have the ability to reach the right people, funding don't come to them, which is activists and organizers like myself on the ground, and faith leaders who are doing the civic engagement work too. I think they should get paid to, or they not get paid, but I think that they should have some funding to operate, to help get out the vote, to help train people up. And so that's what Faith and Works has done. So right now we're giving out over $300,000 over the next year to train people up. Last year we gave out over 200, not gave out, but we shared over 200,000 with pastors and activists on the ground to help get folks trained.
Okay. So I guess any final thoughts you all want to add?
I think it's important when folks say, well, what is Revolt? What are you trying to do? And we have a shield that says, we're building Black political power in the radical and prophetic tradition. And that is also, once again, bridging the gap between that activist community and or organizers and faith leaders and the church, bringing the two most powerful entities together to build political power and reaching infrequent voters. I believe we are the two folks to do it. And the time is now. We have to get started now in preparation for 2026 and like you said, 2025, 2024. We're not really trying to influence local elections. What we're trying to do is just turn out the vote in mass numbers and make a difference.
Yeah, and like I said too, it's continuing to keeping people energized, because like you said, if you vote every 4 years, people who vote all the time are continuing to go to the polls. People who vote hopscotch, and that also kind of affects turnout and everything.
Yeah, the work has to be year round, and that's what we're trying to do. We're fighting to do the work year round, not just during an election cycle.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming on today, Carl, Sharon, and of course, Pastor Mike, the original Pastor Mike. See you. Even though, shouts out to Pastor Mike Jr., he does a great job, but that is the original OG. So,
but it's just a shout out to the McClure family.
Yeah,
all of the McClure family.
And the thing about it, I always like to say too, give people the flowers while they're alive.
The entire clan is just remarkable. The things that all of us collectively, I believe that if you had all of us on a program, we'll be here all night, because there are things that folks don't know and don't see, because there are folks who may not be on camera. But the impact that we're having across this country and abroad is crazy for a small family that's from Powderly, that's from Collegeville. So we may be from Collegeville or Powderly, but greatness, those are places that have birthed greatness.
Well, I want to thank you. I'm personally saying I want to thank your family for y'all, your sacrifice. Because you sacrifice, your time. It's almost like you're giving yourself to the city, for all the years of service you all have done.
But we've said yes to God.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like I said, very important. But thank you all for watching. Please check out what'shappeningbirmingham.com for more interviews. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also there's an audio version of this on Apple Podcasts. Thank you all again and have a great day. And let's go revote, everybody.
Revote.
Revote. Thank you, Jarvis, for all you do.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.